Synthetic crochet hair is definitely having a moment. I've been wearing crochet hair for many, many years. I actually started wearing crochet hair back when I was in about the 8th or 9th grade, and that was a long, long time ago. But since that time, and even in recent times, there have been so many improvements and advances in crochet synthetic hair. I feel like people are doing a great job with it. There's this lady in the Bahamas, there's several people in Nigeria, just all over the West Coast, LA, people who are just doing amazing jobs. A woman who does a great job in London. I just see all of these women doing excellent work when it comes to crochet hair using synthetic hair. Now, a couple of things that I have come by through experience over the years that I would love to share with other hairstylists or just any woman who's a DIYer. I started doing hair as a kid, as a DIYer, just out of pure necessity. It's a long story. I'll go into that another time, but I have noticed a few things that may be a few helpful tips to hairstylists or people who just do their own hair. The first useful tip I would say is to go light on the amount of hair that you're using for your install, especially like in the back area, because that's where you're going to wind up picking up a whole bunch of bulk that you don't necessarily want. But today I am going to share with you how you can curl synthetic crochet hair. I've been doing, again, this little technique for quite some time, and I made some other videos on another platform just sharing this particular curling set that works really well on synthetic hair as well. So this synthetic hair is a no leave out install. I made it with a middle part, and it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing crazy or new about the install itself. So there are lots of videos that you could watch on crochet installs, but the only thing that I would consider different is that I do tend to be light-handed with the amount of hair that I put in so that it won't wind up being like a big poofy thing. And some people like that, and that's fine. But just in case you want other options, you can do something that winds up looking sleek. Now, what I did with this synthetic hair was after I installed it, I used a blow dryer to make it even straighter than it initially was. And there are a number of ways that you could go about getting a straight finish to it. I always like my roots to still be like kinky and around the edges, but the rest of the hair I straightened out. And this is what I use whenever I want to create curls on synthetic hair. I have a few of them missing. I don't even know where they are. I don't know. I have to look around and see if I can find them. Excuse me, because I keep looking over that way because that's where I can see myself. When I'm looking like in the camera, I can't see myself. But anyway, basically this is very simple, very straightforward, nothing too revolutionary, except that it can help you to like have a really natural look. And I also noticed that people tend to like leave the hair really long and like not cut layers into it and all that good stuff, and all those things are options. I think that sometimes we think, oh, it's synthetic hair, you know, I'm limited in what I could do with it. I would say that you're not necessarily limited, but like you might have to use some techniques that are different than what you would ordinarily do. So like I just put the roller on here like that and just make it nice and tight. Try to get as many, you know, like as many loose hairs in there as you would want to. And then I'm just going to take the clip and clip that on there. This is hanging out. We'll see what we do about that later. And you just go section by section. What I do love, I have a lot of things that I really love about synthetic hair, and a lot of things that drive me to it from human hair. One of the things that I don't like about human hair is that this is just me personally, I think that it is, first of all, cost prohibitive. I don't like that about it. The other thing is that human hair is part of a living, breathing organism, and it has its own ecosystem that is very much connected to an individual's body and life. Like when you think about it, with your own hair, you wind up, I'm sorry, I'm getting this. You wind up having to do things like protein treatments because you might have less protein in your diet than you need. And sometimes when you go ahead and add extra protein into your diet, it'll affect your hair. Now, if you have the hair already disconnected from the owner, it impedes that process, that just natural process that takes place when you are using, when you're using hair that's been disconnected from its owner. The other thing that I don't like actually, is the fact that it is like part of a human being. It's not the exact same thing. Excuse me, I keep dropping these. It's not the exact same thing as skin, but like it's up there, and it's up there with somebody's nails. Like you see somebody's nail clippings like on the floor or something, and you're like grossed out by it. And the same keratin that is made out of, it's the same keratin that your hair is made out of. The other thing that I don't like about about human hair is that, this is a human person's hair. Like it has a DNA story, it has a history, and like, I don't know about it, but like some people say that hair holds trauma and history and all that. I don't know about all that, but I do know that it is another human person's DNA. The other thing that and I'm not bashing human hair or people who like using human hair, because I use it too sometimes, but I'm just saying that like these are some things about it that I'm not crazy about that make me run to synthetic hair. The other thing is that we don't realize it, I think, but there is so much that you can do to manipulate synthetic hair, things that you can just do thermally or in other organic processes, that with human hair you would have to use some sort of chemical. And the chemicals in there's a lot of chemical residue on a majority of the human hair that we're using, and it actually has lots of lead in it. I don't know if it is if it's enough to be dangerous, if it's a toxic level of lead. I don't know that, but I do know that it has high levels of lead and other things. I don't even know what. I'm not a scientist. You can look that up for yourself. I might link a video that I came across that talks about some of the things that they've been saying about synthetic hair being bad for you, and like another sort of scientific kind of, I guess, opinion concerning that. But at any rate, I've been using synthetic hair since I was a kid. The first synthetic hair that I actually used came off of a doll that I had. It was a baby Chrissy doll. Nobody, I'm sure, is old enough to know what that is. But it was this doll that came. It had a ponytail up at the top of its head, and it had like a drawstring in its back. And when you pulled the string, the ponytail went back in the doll's head. And when you wanted to pull the hair out, making the hair short, and when you wanted to pull the hair out, you would just pull it out, and that would make the hair, you know, longer. But like, I just was a kid, I was in the first or second grade, and I was like, baby Chrissy, I need that hair more than you do. And so I actually took the hair off the doll. And my mom, she used to buy us like these little Afro puffs and stuff, and like do little cute hairstyles on us. And I kind of learned, I definitely learned most of what I know from her, like the foundations of it from her. But she used to create these really cute hairstyles on us. And it just inspired me to like try and see what I could come up with. And one year, I'm just kind of going on because I'm waiting for these to cool off a little bit. So one year my mom had bought me this little rug hook set. This is like way back, way back long ago. I don't want to even say how far back. But so I used the latch hook from the latch hook and the hair from the baby Chrissy doll, and actually crocheted the hair into my hair. And I worked on that, you know, worked on getting that right for like a few years. And by the time I was in high school, I had all kinds of hairstyles using crochet. So I just say that to say that I have had a lot of experience just working with that type of synthetic hair and just various types of synthetic hair. Even in my day job, I design wigs made with synthetic hair. But again, I'm waiting for this to cool down. And let me just tell you a couple things about this process. So I use this set of rollers, and this one is, I have a few of them, but this has been, you know, she's seen better days. She's been beat up. She's got some teeth missing, as you can see here. But this is, to me, like the end all be all of ways of curling synthetic hair. You know, there are other ways, you know, you could use steam, and I've never tried it, but I've heard people do stuff in the microwave, and, you know, all sorts of things that you can do to create curls in your synthetic hair. But this one, I particularly love it because it is just the right temperature to work with the majority of these fibers. Now, some of the fibers that are out there that are like, they call them protein fibers. That means like that they're mixed with protein, like keratin mixed with other synthetic fibers. Those can be a little bit difficult to hold a curl with this level of heat, but just your regular like Kaneka line or like other variations on that level, that this works really well for that. And I'm going to link it down below so that you could find it if you want. Now, the couple of the keys are that you have to let this thing get really hot. You have to let it, you know, go full throttle and just heat up as much as it can. And I find if you leave it on for a good 15 to 20 minutes, it seems to reach its maximum in terms of like the heat level. And at that point, when you put it in your hair, you do have to let it cool off before you take it out. And that again also takes another, you know, 20 minutes or so. So you are looking at, you know, about 45 minutes from plug-in to like being able to take the curls down. And, you know, that doesn't mean that you got to sit there and just wait for the curls to cool off. You can do other things. Some people even like will do this at night and leave them in. I could never sleep. These rollers are hard. I could never imagine trying to sleep with these rollers on, but I have heard that some people do actually sleep with these things. I wouldn't recommend it. But at any rate, this is going to take a few minutes. I don't want to hold you, so I'm just going to pause here while I wait for these curls to cool off. I'll come back and take them down for you. So I waited a good 15 minutes or so for these to cool down. And yeah, I'm going to start taking them out. And so I'm just going to take this first one out. And yeah, it's got a nice little curl to it. and I'll just go ahead and take the rest of them out and then figure out like how to style this. I mean, I guess some people would probably just leave the curls like that. One thing I wanted to mention that does make people kind of stay away from trying to curl synthetic hair is that it can easily melt. And there are some curling irons that you can use that you can actually adjust the level of heat, but you do have to be careful with it. And I have used other sets of rollers that just that either don't hold the curl, or like they are not hot enough to curl this hair, or they're too hot and wind up just kind of burning the hair like any regular curling iron would. One thing I'm going to ask you guys, if you know anything about this, if you could leave it down in the comments. When you are wearing silver or blonde or any light color hair, how do you manage to not get your makeup on your hair? Because I see that like happening. It can wash off, but I just wonder, like, what can you do to like keep your makeup from rubbing off on your hair? So this is just what these curls look like, just fresh off the roller. And I could definitely see leaving them just like this. I could also see like cutting a bit of a layer in here and then curling the hair so you've got like a little bit of fringe or something like that. And guys, I really apologize for this makeup that is getting on this hair, but let's pretend it's not there. So anyhow, yeah, this is it, basically what the curls look like. They're nice, you know, nice. It's a nice curl to it. And I can imagine too, like if this hair was shorter, say if it was like a bob and you were to use these rollers to curl it, or even if you cut this hair like really short, and I'm gonna have to try that one day. I'll probably try it maybe with another color, but you could really cut some hair short and, you know, just curl it and make some sort of style with it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna brush this out a little bit. Like this did leave like some little like crinkles in the curl, but I don't mind that. What you could do to get rid of some of those crinkles is to just like use your blow dryer or use like a flat iron, just one that's not going to burn the hair. Just like run that over that section. I don't have one of those handy, but yeah, I'm just going to brush this out a bit just to show you guys like what it looks like if it's got some curls to it. Yeah, I actually think that I'm somebody who just in general likes a very kind of sleek look, and it has to do with the fact that I'm not saying that this is a problem, but I have a pretty big head. And so I don't like adding a whole lot of extra to like my circumference. But yeah, so this is how you can curl this synthetic hair. Again, you know, I think it would be nice if I had my flat iron. I would definitely just, you know, get rid of that little crinkle because I don't like crinkles in my curls. But yeah, this is how this pretty much turns out. And I hope that you guys find this helpful and that you could like apply this technique to, you know, other crochet styles. Again, something that's shorter or something that's layered. The possibilities are just like really pretty endless. I'm just gonna try like one other little thing before I go. I was just about to go, but like imagine if you like put the curls up a little bit higher and then you like just did like a little curtain bang thing, and say you didn't have this kind of silver color and you had like just you know, maybe black or something so that you don't have makeup on yours. But at any rate, you know, this is just another possibility. Like you could do like this updo where camera's a little bit high, but like where you know, you've seen the style where people have like the hair up and the curtain bangs. You could do something like that. You could do something like where you have the curtain bangs and maybe pull the hair to one side and put like a barrette on it, something like that. I mean, there's just like a lot of possibilities that I think are unexplored. And I feel like I was thinking about it, and when it comes to synthetic hair and particularly crochet, I feel like we, you know, have left all the meat on the bones. We left all the food on our plate, you know, but there's like so much more that you can do with it than we've been doing. So I hope you find this helpful. And if you do, please give this a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff, whatever. And I'll, you know, hope to see you back here again. Thanks for stopping by.